here we go. What is up, everybody? This is a pretty cool day. It's almost 60 degrees right now outside, which is weird, and waiting on the next storm to come through, and we'll see if that's rain or snow. But what's more exciting is this is my month review. It's been over 30 days since I've had the GhostCat F3X Pro, and I figured it would be a grand time, a fantastic time to give you all like more of a long-term review. I've got almost 100 miles on the bike, running it 5 miles here, 5 miles there a lot of the times, and a couple times, you know, over 20 miles. So having it for a month, from the unboxing, to riding, to commuting, to kind of just doing a little bit of everything. Like right now, for example, I'm gonna run to the store and just grab a couple snacks and get ready for a big snowboard day tomorrow. But man, this bike is pretty cool, and I want to go over everything with you. And not everything is perfect about it, but nothing is perfect really that I've ridden so far, but it comes pretty dang on close. Now, when I first got this bike, you know, one of the first things that I noticed, it was more robust than the F3, you know, the bigger suspension, the CST tires. It definitely felt just more robust. Just in the unboxing, you know, I had an axle through the front wheel. Just some things about it just seemed a little different, you know. And then they've upgraded the things, like they've upgraded the KKE suspension from, I think it's the BSN suspension. They've upgraded the front suspension to the KKE as well, and they added some rubber grips to it, you know, and then, you know, thrown in a couple different colors. So I was able to, you know, pick out a cool color. I got a burnt orange, which was super awesome, and they got like a green and a dark purple as well, so you've got a couple options. We'll head on up here to the bike path. So I am super excited to kind of share with you my 1 month review on this thing, of kind of enjoying it and taking it out a little bit of everywhere. And the conditions I've ridden it in is pretty funny too. Now, it having the better suspension and a little bit more robust tires, now they're not as grippy as like the F3, you know, so they're maybe not as suited for off-road as much as the F3. But they're really good. Now, where this bike excels, in just one of my favorite type situations to ride this particular bike in, is like a hard dirt road, a packed gravel road, or whatever like this, because the suspension really comes into play here, which is super cool, as you can see. I mean, I'm just cruising and it's just super awesome. And even when I hit like these bigger boulderly rocks through here, I mean, I'm still holding pretty steady. So I really enjoy that part. You can see the river, the snow's melting, and that's looking pretty cool, isn't it? You could just see just how cool that burnt orange is, and just those big bulky CST Scout tires, the KKE front suspension and the rear suspension. That spring on there is even bulky. I mean, it's just a good looking bike overall. You can see that headlight's super bright. It's an overcast day, so you'll probably see a little bit better. I'll show you how it goes uphill. This is a pretty steep, long hill, and the last part is super steep right here. And I'll just kind of give you an idea of the torque and the performance that it gives you, as well as the suspension. Now, you gotta be really careful not to whiskey throttle this bike. That's one of the things. So I'm gonna get it lined up here, get my feet situated, and here we go. You gotta be careful because it will peel out too. So you gotta be careful. Go over the bouldery part here, going pretty fast. Now we're going to be going uphill up the gravel. Ah, look at that. How cool is that? And it just climbs and it's just zippy. Super cool. Look how cool this is though. I'll show you the trestles down here. How freaking awesome is that? Yeah, a lot of the snow's melting, that river's picking up. It'll be ready to kayak here soon. I have kayaked this river a bunch of times. I've also swam it a bunch of times. All right, let's go on up this way. But you can see just the climbing torque and the power is really good. And these tires are actually really, really good for all terrain, especially if you're gonna be riding on the road, you know, like most of the time. They're just gonna be really, really good. We'll head on up this way. I mean, you know, come mid-April or whatever, they'll have these bike paths pretty much, you know, cleared off. But right now, just, you know, we're just getting out of winter. And right now, we're getting ready to go into what's called third winter. It's a little joke that we have here. But we're coming out of pre-spring into third winter. And after third winter is the pollinating. After the pollinating, we get into spring. It's just, there's like 9 or 10 seasons in my area of Colorado. That's all I'll tell you. Let's go up here. We'll get a good view of the mountains. It just looks like nobody's really out today. Super peaceful. Just riding on the bike path, cruising out 25 miles an hour. Super awesome. This is the new bike path that they actually built. It even extends up this way. But look how beautiful this is. I gotta show you this view. There's a particular view here that I enjoy sharing with my YouTube fam. And check that out. Sline's Head Rock up there. Like I said, Meadow Mountain, old ski resort. That was back in the day. And this is the Eagle River. That's going back towards Leadville. That's the highest city in North America, actually. So this is where this e-bike really, really excels. This is where this e-bike, to me, just really does what's supposed to. And this is like a packed dirt road. So you get going on this packed dirt road. It's super bumpy, lots of potholes, but you can just see it just handles this kind of territory super awesome. And I could get up to, you know, 30 miles an hour on this type of road, and it handles super awesome. God, it looks gorgeous up there, doesn't it? Is that not beautiful? I freaking love this place. That's going towards Minturn. I lived in Minturn for 7 years. I had the nickname Mayor of Minturn for reasons. But you can see this bike just handles like those bumpy roads, man. Handles them good. And I mean, even when you get down in to like these old railroad tracks. Well, here's on down through here. You could see, I mean, it just handles those railroad ties underneath my feet really, really well too. I mean, it is just one hell of a bike. This place has so much freaking cool like railroad history. I freaking love this area. This right here, man. This e-bike is just freaking amazing. It really is like that e-bike when I picked it out. I was really like, okay, the suspension, the torque, the speed, all those things, you know. And now granted, this isn't the bike that you want if you want to pedal and get exercise if you're over like 5'7", because you just won't be pedaling it. It's not an efficient way of using this bike. The intentions of this bike for me were throttle only. Now, if I want to pedal, I've got an acoustic bike. If I want an electric bike to pedal and use throttle and, you know, do that kind of thing, I got a bike for that. Now, this bike for me is exactly what I'm doing with it right now. And that's just having a blast on it, taking it on any kind of terrain, whether it be dirt roads like this, or just bumpier roads like up there. I mean, it just really takes me anywhere and everywhere I want to freaking go. And I love that. And the brakes are just incredible. The expectations I've had of this bike are either spot on or they've exceeded it. Now, what's exceeded it to me is actually the suspension. Now, take in mind, I've never had suspension of this quality or even relatively close on an e-bike. Now, the F3 has decent suspension, but it's more like just a decent bicycle suspension or e-bike suspension. This is actually legit, man. I mean, they'll actually use this suspension on like a Talaria or a Suron or E-Ride Pro or any of the E-Motos. They'll actually use this front type and rear type suspension on those bikes, and they're going off-road, doing jumps, so on and so forth. Now, granted, if you're going to do a lot of that, you upgrade that, you know. So to me, the suspension is more than you need on this particular bike. When I take this bike out, I look forward to it. You know, it's like I almost make excuses to go places and do things. Like right now, for example, I'm just going to go get a couple snacks at the store. Do I need snacky cakes? No. Which reminds me of that Will Ferrell on Jimmy Fallon when he did the Little Debbie scene where he's like, do you like snacks? And the crowd's like, yeah. Do you like cakes? Yeah. Do you like snack cakes? And the crowd's like, yeah. And he's like, well, great. You can go down to your local store and buy some Little Debbie snack cakes. You can buy one, you can buy two, you can buy as many as you want. It's freaking awesome. I'm a huge Will Ferrell fan, by the way. Leave a comment below who your favorite comedian is. Mine is definitely Will Ferrell. You know, just hilarious. Now, old school, I like, you know, the old Eddie Murphy stuff, but, you know, right now, it's definitely Will Ferrell. I think he's just like fine wine, man. He just gets better and better. Just absolutely incredible. Now, some of the things I want to go over is like the quality build of this bike has exceeded my expectations. You know, the suspension has exceeded my expectations. The quality of the build has, because honestly, when you're just looking at things online or watching a video, you can't really touchy-feel the things. And that's kind of what this stinks about the e-bike industry, is it's really hard for the end user or the consumer to see what the bike really feels like and handles like, you know, by watching a reviewer is really the only way that I can see this. And so even watching like Tail Happy or my buddy Jonathan at Mr. Central Driver take out like, you know, the 2.0 and the 2.2 versions of this bike were the only kind of examples I had before I got my F3. So hopefully me taking this bike out on mini rides, you know, not just initial review, not just, you know, uphill challenge or whatever, you get to see more of a long-term review when I do these bikes, because kind of my niche in the e-bike reviewing market is stick with a couple companies, review all their bikes and each one several times, you know, and that's kind of like my niche, you know, instead of just mowing through a bunch. Now, I turned down a lot of bikes. To me, they're just cheaper bikes, you know, or they're competing with bikes that I'm already involved with, you know, pretty hardcore, and they just don't offer the features exactly what I need, because right now, the GhostCat line really offers the features I like on a high-powered e-bike. Now, like I said, if I want something that's more pedally, more of just like a laid-back, you know, throttle's only up to 20 miles an hour, that kind of thing, then I'll get like a different kind of e-bike. But if I'm just wanting to use throttle, I want to be on the highway some, I need to go up my hill, those kinds of things, this is currently the e-bike for me. And hopefully you could see if this is the right e-bike for you. Because no matter what bike you choose, I want you to just get on an e-bike. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want everyone to enjoy the thrill and the awesomeness of getting outside, seeing the world, instead of sitting at home, eating a bag of Doritos, drinking a Mountain Dew. Now, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, besides it's really bad for you. And this is what I also love about this bike. It just pops up big curves. Now that's where it kind of beats the e-scooters, like the stand-up scooters. That's another efficient spot down there. Is where e-bikes just win that one. It's just the bigger, fatter tires, going over bigger bumps, potholes, things like that. I really like that about the e-bikes versus the e-scooters. And to each their own though, but just as far as around here, it fits well. Now, I was talking about the build quality of this bike and just really what it offers. First off, if you're gonna have good suspension, it's gonna take a lot of that vibration and a lot of that abuse off of your bike. So having good suspension really slows down the wear and tear of the entire bike. And that including the tires too, because if you have crappy suspension, those tires will wear out a lot quicker than if you have good suspension. And the frame, the bolts, just everything that might rattle loose starts with that suspension. So the build quality, the suspension, you know, I'm actually just blown away by that. I'm holding back a little bit because it's gonna sound stupid if I just start going into how much that really is awesome. I mean, it's super awesome. See if these assholes even know what they're doing. No, not really. They don't really know what they're doing. Well, at least 1 out of 2, that's not bad. The person that screwed up back there was the worst case scenario, which is what's so fucked up. My buddy Brian's liquor store, Pier 13. So if you're ever in the valley here, go to Pier 13 liquor store in Eagle Vale and tell Brian Chris sent you. He won't give you a discount though. I know he might will. And customer service to me is huge. And when they really just kind of gave me the customer service deal and just how they were and hearing how happy customers were and any minor problems that would have popped up, like, you know, the handlebar was missing a grip, or, you know, something got damaged in shipping, or something didn't work, you know, because a lot of these pieces are mass produced. I mean, that's just the way that is, and you're going to get a part that doesn't always work. I mean, quality control is actually decent with a lot of these bike manufacturers now compared to what it was even 2 years ago. So you don't have a lot of issues, but when you do, it's just really nice to have a company that has your back, man, honestly. I'll go up here and do a little speed test. All right, let's buzz on through here. Right now we're at 53 volts, and that's with the throttle, but then you get going up here and just give it all it's got. We're at 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Are we going to get 35? Are we going to get 35? Are we going to get 35? Are we going to get it? Yeah, we got 35. Woo! I think we got like right at 36. I checked the GPS. I got it on today too, so we'll definitely check the GPS. That's freaking awesome. This e-bike is just a hoot, man. Now, the maintenance on this thing is super, super easy. Basically all I do on the maintenance of this, I give it a light wash. You know, I'll use Simple Green, spray it down while it's dry with Simple Green, you know, saturate pretty good, and just a light spray. You don't want to use a lot of force, especially around the motor area, battery area, those kinds of things, you know, the light, the display, those kinds of things, you know, you want to go really lightly on. And matter of fact, I usually just put like painter's tape or masking tape over the battery area there or whatever. Oh, pretty cool, huh? But yeah, that's just basic maintenance, is really your chain. Make sure your tires are pumped up and have plenty of air in it. And washing it, that's the basic maintenance on this thing, is keeping it clean, keeping it lubed, keeping it in good shape. That's the maintenance of an e-bike. Now, when we're talking about range earlier, range has a lot to do with things, and I'll give you a couple key hints on that and how I kind of take care of my battery and the charging and that kind of thing. Now, charging the battery usually takes about 5 hours from about 20%, you know, about 15-20% where I run it down to. I don't ever bottom it out. That's not good for the battery. But it takes about 5 hours to get it back up to 100% from about 15-20% on a charge. So that's about it. Now, on my range, I want to keep it really steady, man. Now, if you're going to put it in mode 5, pedal assist 5, you're going to get about 25 miles, and I weigh about 170 pounds, so I give you an idea, and that's moderate to hilly terrain as well. And I do like using throttle only, so keep that in mind. But if you click this thing down into mode 3, like, check this out. If you click it down to mode 3, you're not going to get as much torque, but you're going to get more range. Now, this is what's crazy. I had some discussions with some of my friends, and I kind of noticed this on my very first e-bike, my Ingway 2.0 or whatever. But when I had it in a lower mode, I noticed I didn't have as much torque. It wasn't giving me as many watts, so on and so forth. But I noticed I was getting a lot more range. Now, if I keep this thing in mode 3, and that's going to be mainly around bike paths, sidewalks, that kind of thing, I can still get up some good speed, man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it could still get up, you know, 30 miles an hour really quick. But it's not going to give you as much wattage, that kind of thing. So there is a little bit of difference, because right here, I mean, you could just feel like just changing the modes alone, like, and then, you know, knocking it down. It loses power just by the modes. Now, keeping it in mode 3, I'm able to get about 32 miles. Okay, that's not a huge difference, but I mean, man, just know that on this bike, me being 170 pounds, mode 3, it's not giving me as much power as mode 5, pedal assist 5. But when I have it pedal assist 3, I am able to get about 5 to 7 more miles per charge. So that's like super good. Ooh, that was so fun. Couldn't help it. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of the range, the battery. You know, you want to take care of your battery. Don't ever let it sit in a place that's super cold. Now, if you're out riding in the cold, that's one thing, because that battery's warm and it's staying warm while you're riding it. That's one thing, but don't ever just like let it sit out in the cold for a long, long time. That's my 2 cents on battery care. I just never left my batteries out in the cold. But I have had these bikes shipped to me, not the GhostCat necessarily, but just had a dirt bike sent to me with a 72 volt battery, and it wouldn't even charge because it was cold. I mean, it wouldn't allow me to charge it, and that's probably a safety thing. But check it out. That's the GhostCat F3X Pro. It's just an awesome freaking bike. I mean, I've enjoyed the living heck out of it. And I mean, you can see here, I've got over 100 miles on it now. I've had it for a month. You know, when these summer days come out, it's going to be even more intense. And down here, it looks like I got up to 35 miles per hour. And we've went about 11 miles today. That sounds about right. It's about right. You can see the snow's melting. Here we're getting ready to hit third winter, and then we'll be in the pollinating. The pollinating, it sounds like a scary book, doesn't it? The pollinating. I do have a helmet on. I just took it off for a second. Calm down. Good Lord. People tell me to wear a helmet. I got one. But there it is. Now, man, every bike has its quirks. And this bike, to me, does have a couple. It's nothing major, and I'm being super nitpicky here, but I am, because I don't even hand out tins. I don't hand out tins to food places. I don't hand out tins to snowboards. I don't hand out tins to e-bikes. I just don't. I don't hand out 10s because nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect. My last girlfriend was pretty close, but, well, physically. Now, a couple quirks this bike has, and I mean, to me, it's the biggie, is this, man. The gear thing, the 7-gear thing, the Shimano gear thing, where it's all hanging down really low. And man, I think that could be fixed. And I think the F3X Pro is a single gear, so I'm excited about that. But even on this bike, it's just not even necessary. Nobody's pedaling this bike. Even if you're 5'7" or under, you're not pedaling it much. So I don't like that. One of the other things, yeah, it doesn't really come with like a proper like mud guard in the back here, because without this back rack right here, I'd get a lot of mud on my back. That's really about it. So, I mean, there are some quirky things about it, you know, just the chain and the gears being on there. I think that's weird. I think it'd be cool if they offered just like a peg system for this, where you could take all that totally off and just have pegs for it. I mean, I'd probably be interested in at least having one of my GhostCats pegged, and then the F3X probably with pedals, or vice versa. But those are the kind of the quirks. Everything else I freaking love. The suspension, the tires on it, the handling, the battery life. I would like to have, you know, a 25 amp hour battery on there. Stay tuned for that. I know GhostCat is working on a 25 amp hour battery, that's for sure. I would like to maybe one day eventually have the ability to upgrade the controller on it, maybe to add a little bit more speed if I was able to upgrade the battery, you know, just to get a little bit more range, but then to get a little bit more power too if I have a bigger battery. Besides that, man, I really love the bike. You know, maybe some more options for accessories like back racks. I think they're working on a surfboard rack and a back rack at GhostCat right now. So accessories would be cool to have some more accessories for this bike. But those are really the only 3 things I could think that, you know, I could complain about, and I'm just complaining, just being a little bee. Whew, hope you enjoy that. I want to go in here and get some snacky cakes. Do you like snacks? Do you like cakes? Do you like snacky cakes? I'll go in here and probably get some Little Debbie's. That's the funny part to this story. But that's a 1-month review on the GhostCat F3X Pro. Get you 1, get you 2, get you 3, and use my discount code Colorado to save you $50. Helps me, helps the channel, but most of all, it helps you. Until the next adventure, peace.